Are MMORPGs a once in a lifetime experience? You know, often my Final Fantasy XI videos will like talk about the classic style, the private servers where they have set the game, and these comments come back saying like, I'm looking at it with rose-colored glasses, and I'm just remembering what I want to remember, the good things. I'm not remembering all the bad stuff, and you essentially you can't turn back the clock. You've experienced it once; it'll never be like that again. That's kind of it. And I myself had said that a bunch of times before I tried Eden. I was like, I don't think I can do it. I can't go back to that style. It's too old school. I won't be able to devote the time that I need to devote to it. It won't be the same. And then I did it, and I think I've totally changed my own mind. I mean, many, and myself included for a long time, just thought that it wouldn't fit a modern lifestyle. But is that because of the schedule problems with playing games, or because Final Fantasy XI is a game that I've experienced for over 500 hours? Like, it's hard to go back and start fresh and be like, okay, new character. I'm going to enjoy Final Fantasy XI in its entirety on this private server with the style of the mid-2000s. When I have put over 500 hours, 500 days, what am I saying, 500 hours? 500 days into, what is my current playtime? Playtime, hang on. 529 days. Now, some of that is left, you know, PS2 being left on overnight kind of stuff. But you know what I'm saying? Is it because I've done it? Like if a new game came out, almost the same style of game, would I be able to enjoy it as much? This is the question that I constantly come back to with games like Pantheon Rise of the Fallen coming out soon, because will the experience feel fresh and amazing because it's a brand new game that I'm learning, I'm experiencing it for the first time, or is it going to feel like a second go around of the MMO style in general, whether that's, you know, good or bad? Will I just be so enraptured in a new game that like it doesn't affect me at all? I don't know. It all kind of ties back to this question of whether or not MMORPGs can only be experienced like one time truly. And I think there's like two sides to that. You can look at that in two different ways. On the one side, you're feeling like that feeling of exploring the world for the first time, learning all its rules and secrets, understanding how the classes intertwine, the storylines, the characters. You can never like undo that knowledge, that feeling of first to be able to help another player versus like them helping you, or being able to tackle a difficult challenge that you could never beat before, completing a quest or a dungeon that like you never thought you'd be hard enough as a player to be able to beat. And like that kind of stuff, yeah, I think it's a lot like playing Ocarina of Time for the first time, Metal Gear Solid for the first time, seeing the Sixth Sense for the first time. It's an experience you can't relive. There is a one-time aspect to that. It's just like it's reaching that twist at the end of a movie, or the surprise change in direction in a plot of a book. Like you can't ever unlearn what you've learned. You might forget for a while, but you can't relearning how certain content works isn't the same as experiencing it for the first time totally fresh. I don't know. There's a lot to think about there. I mean, Final Fantasy XI is interesting because, like, it's this question because you can level alternate jobs on the same exact character. And that's been one of my favorite things, is that, you know, I don't lose my storyline progress, my in-world progress as a character. I just change what job I'm currently working on. I don't know, it's got so many layers. And MMOs themselves, the other side of this, and what I think a lot of people are often thinking, is that MMOs are like this living, breathing entity. They evolve and change with player mindset, developmental changes. The game itself, like, alters. Final Fantasy IX. Final Fantasy XI is a perfect example. This is totally different than it was in the mid-2000s. But it's still here. The game is still technically playable, and it's here. But the way that I played it in 2005 will never truly exist again anywhere. Like something like WoW Classic, while exciting, for players that played in WoW's inception, it will never be exactly the same, because you still have the player knowledge, differences of opinion, differences of ways that people approach games today than they did in 2005. strategies no longer need to be formed and tested in certain ways. Like some things are just known. That kind of, the way that it was in 2005, 2006 is just gone forever. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing. I mean, life moves on. It's the time is a flat circle. I don't know what I'm talking about. No matter how enjoyable the experience is of like WoW Classic or Final Fantasy XI Classic, it is not truly the same. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I truly don't. But does that support the answer that you can only truly experience an MMO one time? And then beyond that, can you only experience MMOs once? Like, Final Fantasy XI was my first real MMO, and I played it for a really long time. And then eventually, I did try another MMO. And that experience is never going to be the same either, because I have a background, an MMO background that I'm, like, thinking about and always leaning against, comparing to using that knowledge to say, like, okay, this is kind of how MMOs work. So is there only ever one, like, your first MMO, and then every other MMO after that isn't really the same? Maybe. I don't know. It's kind of an interesting thought. Is that like first person you date versus every other person you date? I don't know. Like your experience with that one game has changed forever, so you can never go back and re-experience Final Fantasy XI. But also your experience, like my experience with World of Warcraft was totally shifted from many others because Final Fantasy XI was my first MMO. They jump into World of Warcraft, it's their first MMO. And that shapes their experiences with MMOs forever. It's just crazy thoughts. I don't know. I kind of just rambled for like 10 minutes. I don't know. I did open this up for chat. I feel like I haven't even looked at chat. What are your thoughts? Are MMOs something that can only be experienced one time, or is it something that you can experience in new, fresh ways? And that's the glorious part about MMOs. Have we not seen all that the genre has to offer? Is each new game a new way to approach that? Or are you just always trying to relive the glory days? I don't know. But yeah, I was thinking about that. I've been thinking about it a lot. I wanted to bring it up in chat. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in more videos like this, think about subscribing. And if you already have, don't forget to click that little bell next to the sub button to get notified when new videos go live. Hit me up in the comments with your thoughts on this video, or come hang out and chat with me on Twitch every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And definitely look me up on Twitter or Instagram and Hunt for Games to keep up with what else I've got going on. See ya.